Hello everyone, my name is Alan Biju George and this is my presentation for the Data Science Research Project Day. My supervisor is Ashley Dennis Henderson. So today I'm going to be presenting my progress on the project titled Tracking Characters and Locations Around the World Using NLP. Through this presentation, I will walk you through the motivations behind the project, the methods I have used, and some of the findings I have gotten through so far. So in this project, we explore how we can apply natural language processing or NLP to some of the popular novel Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days. It's a classic novel. The idea is to bring quantitative insight into storytelling by analyzing character mentions across the novel. By tracking when and how often different characters are mentioned, we can uncover patterns in narrative structure and character prominence, things we normally interpret qualitatively. So basically, natural language processing is a technique used to extract insights from text using various computational methods. We are feeding it text data, and through that data, by upon analyzing it, we can get various insights. And in literary studies, also, NLP has been recently used to map emotional arcs, construct character networks, and even identify stylistic features. This project fits into that space by focusing on frequency based analysis, an accessible, powerful approach to understanding text. This is also important because it stays the stage for more advanced NLP tasks like sentiment analysis or co-reference solution. We can also uncover patterns which are not visible through casual reading, and it can help in faster analysis and even gain access to instant insights. So instead of reading it through the novel many times to get insights on how the author intended to, we can gain instant insights by using various NLP tools without even going through the book multiple times. So here are my main goals or research questions that I'm going to be exploring through this project. What characters are mentioned in the novel and how many times are they mentioned? And how does this change over the book? Basically, we see how important each character is throughout the book and their prominence. How does it change overall throughout as the book as the story advances? Since the novel is about the protagonist traveling around the world in 80 days, we are also aiming to see what locations are mentioned in the novel, how many times are they mentioned, and how does this change overall throughout the book. And we also aim to compare this to the novel From the Earth to the Moon, which is another classic novel of the same author, Jules Verne's, in which instead of the world, they try to go from the Earth to the Moon. So I have downloaded the text from Project Gutenberg using the Gutenberger package in R, and the book's ID is 103. I cleaned the raw text by removing headers, footers, and chapter titles. Then I used regular expressions to split the text into 37 chapters. Each chapter is now a single row in a tidy dataset, which forms the basis of the analysis. This pre-processing step, this the code I took it from my supervisor Ashley, whom she provided, and I was able to complete the collection and cleaning part of my data. So I was able to attempt to start my first research question about the characters and their prominence. So instead of using named entity recognition, which can miss names or extract irrelevant ones, I manually built a dictionary of the characters. I manually searched the characters list using resources like Spark Notes. I accounted also for the multiple name variants. For example, the protagonist Phileas Fogg has various other he's mentioned throughout the book through various other names like Mr. Fogg or just Fogg or his full name as Phileas Fogg. I did this for all the major and minor characters. And upon my analysis, I could find out that the top characters were indeed the protagonist Phileas Fogg, his companion Passepartout, and Detective Fix. And we also see that there are many minor characters indeed throughout the book as they go out through various countries. And we see that there are lots of minor characters. And we can see how the interesting spikes are also aligned. So this is a overall view of how I built the dictionary for analyzing the various characters. And after I built the dictionary, I aim to track the mentions of each character through chapter by chapter, and I was able to build a pot and frequency tables for better visualization. When I tried to put all the main characters inside, this is how it turned out to be, and it's very cluttered, and I could not make out anything at all. So I decided to only focus on the main characters, the top five characters in the book. And unsurprisingly, Phileas Fogg is the most frequently mentioned character. It follows by Passepartout, Detective Fix, and then Aouda. So I mentioned only those five characters as they are more prominent throughout the book. And as you can see that Phileas Fogg is the most important character. And I've also separated into faceted plots so that we can see out how each character's prominence is in a more clearer manner. We can see that Phileas Fogg is mentioned throughout the book, and Aouda, who comes in later through the middle part of the book. Now, moving on to the location tracking, I have attempted to do this through the named entity recognition approach, where I use the space CR package to extract named entities and basically filter for the geographic locations where we wanted. And it had tags like GPE, LOC, and FAC. And I improved its accuracy also by using some form of rule-based filtering because I noticed an initial issue where the character names like Phileas Fogg and Parsi were incorrectly identified as places. So we removed those locations which are tagged as person entities, and we've also filtered out the known first names using the lexicon package. To get some valuable insights from this, I have generated three visualizations where we generated a red heat map, a cumulative line plot tracking the locations over time, and also a journey map showing the major locations by chapter. So this is the heat map which we have generated. Here we can see the narrative path matches the geography. We see how the route traces a logical eastward global journey where they started from the initial destination in London to India, East Asia, America, and then back to London. We also see that the chapter flow is accurate and there are also corrected labels. But however, yeah, that's all. And this is the cumulative location mentions of the top 10 locations and the top 11 locations and how they were mentioned over time throughout the chapters. And this is just to show how the journey was conducted throughout the book, and the numbers represent the chapter by chapter. And we can see that they started in London and how they traveled east and then came to the American region and how they ended back in London again. And And the insights that we gained from these visualizations, we see that the journey path aligns closely with the chapter structure. It clearly reflects the global eastward route they took in the story. And the heat map also showed district location clusters by region and chapter range. And the peaks in location mentions also often corresponded to the major plot transitions. Towards the endings of my project, I am also be attending one more of my goal, which is to refine entity extraction to address these minor accuracy issues which we face in the location. As you can see, some entities were incorrectly recognized, one or two of them, so we have to address that issue. And also, we are going to conduct sentiment analysis across the chapters, and we're going to integrate the findings from location, sentiment, and character analysis to develop into an overall comprehensive narrative overview of the book and how these three come together to show us the better understanding of the book. Thank you.